Hey, everybody. It's Bill Faith here from Build STR Wealth and Market My STR. How is everybody this evening? I am joined on my right by my good friend Scott, who is our partner at Market My STR. Scott, how are you this evening?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Repping our daughter's, sweatshirt there. I like it. I got to get one of those.
They got the 2 stars. You know what that means? 2 state championships.
That's right. Yeah. So, Chris, they probably beat Paige, I'm sure. Chris is a bit. Chris has a one of those vanity license plate, and it's an acronym for Paige High Till I Die. He's like,
so, so the thing I'll tell you is we love Paige because we had the championship game against Brentwood at Paige High School and beat them. So that's why we love Paige.
Yep, that's awesome. I went to that game. I actually went to both games. The one in Murfreesboro when Kendall came in after not playing in the shootout was crazy.
You know who scored the game winner at the Paige High School game?
I sure do.
That's right.
I sure do. And she scored a great goal in that TSC game we had a few weeks ago too. Right. Anyways, we won't talk about soccer all night. I'm also joined by Chris Wharton. You guys should all know Chris. He's my marketing guy, my COO. I don't know what to call Chris, but he does everything for me. Makes my life easy. Most importantly, thank you guys for being here. As always, please say hello in the comments. Let us know where you're from, and don't be bashful to ask questions. So this tonight is all about My STR. It's the new all-in-one marketing platform that Scott and I partnered on about, I guess, 9 weeks ago. And the reason we talk about soccer, our daughters played on a travel soccer team. We were in Gulfport, Mississippi. And we just started talking. I thought he owned a marketing agency. Then I found out, he's all into software. We have a mutual friend in Grant Cardone, kind of connected, all this different type of stuff. So here we are today. We are 4 hours from the founder's pricing. It's been a month. That goes away at midnight tonight. So we've been overwhelmed with questions. I know, Scott, you've been onboarding all day. Chris is living in his daily minutia of all the work that I overload him with. And so I want to start with some questions. I'm just going to ask them this, and we'll just run through them. If you guys have questions, pop them into the comments, because this is all about you guys. Hi, Mama Swiss from Ontario, Canada. Love it. Jeremy Rosen, how are you from San Antonio? I'm going to go to Sarah Adams with the very first question. Does the platform replace any of these paid services? Canva Pro, lead pages, Facebook ads, OwnerRez website hosting, and what accounts would I need to have to set up in order to use the platform? MailChimp, Facebook ads, etc. So what does this replace? And then what do you have to have? A lot of people have asked me, I'm going to default to you to start, Scott, because you know the platform even better than Chris and I do. A lot of people think that this in some way is going to replace your PMS, your property management system. Lodgify, Guesty, OwnerRez, Hospital. That is not what this is here for, period. You don't have to have one to be on the platform, but this is not. This is a marketing tool that works in conjunction with your PMS. And I'm going to turn it over to Scott to kind of answer that question. What's included and what do they need?
Man, we have created 3 analogies for this particular platform. I'll say them all very quickly because I think they're all appropriate. One, it's an elephant, and I think the appropriate amount of expectation should be had when getting into this. This is literally 9, 10, 11, depending on which plan you have, software tools in one, and they are a lighter version of billion-dollar companies out there that exist by themselves. Salesforce, lead pages. It can go on MailChimp.
HubSpot.
It goes on and on. HubSpot. It goes on and on. But the point is, if you don't get in and get your feet underneath you and get confident with one of them first, and then get confident with the second one, then there's a possibility that this elephant may crush you. That is just the reality of it. So I think you have to be an appropriate expectation. The second thing is, in keeping with the audience that I have, this is like the best short-term rental property you've ever purchased in your life. You walk into it, it is all of the appliances, all the paint on the walls done, the bathrooms are immaculate, everything's ready to go, but there's nothing inside it. It is an empty house. And you've got to furnish it. You've got to put everything inside it to make it your own. That includes building the landing page, which is equivalent to like the furniture and stuff. So the features that we tout for you guys that I think we've been trying to help people with quick, number one, and probably first and foremost, and you can pick, this is 1A, 1B, is probably email list and email newsletter. Well, that's probably 1A, 1B. 1A, 1B on the other side of that is the landing page. You get your property listing page up, you get your property management embeddable widget inside that landing page, and you activate the chat widget. I mean, you're cooking with gas on that. And then the third thing would be the social media planner. Social media planner not only allows you to connect all your accounts so you can post directly from the platform, it allows you to post to multiple platforms at once, and it allows you through the communications hub, because you're connected to those accounts, managed all the comments in each of those accounts all in one place. And then you can also have them, you can build that contact out, which may start as just a Facebook connection to getting their email on their phone, and then opening up the channel of email and phone, and even calling them text. I mean, it's really limitless for the most part in that. So I think those are the core foundational things that come with the host plan. And then if you want to think about the super host plan, then you're talking about automations and unlimited websites and surveys and blogging and additional services.
Trigger links, big trigger links.
Right.
But I'd actually like to list out, because a lot of people, it helps to have like a name-to-name comparison of software to software, what it does truly replace.
In particular, use ours, Chris, like lead pages, MailChimp, that type of stuff.
Yeah, so it's a landing page builder. So it replaces lead pages, Unbounce, ClickFunnels, if you've had experience with those types
WordPress,
of landing
websites,
page builders.
everything.
WordPress, direct booking website, Wix, Squarespace, any of those types of builders, it is capable of doing all of that. Email marketing, so MailChimp, which one we've talked about a lot, or Emma, ActiveCampaign. Constant Contact. I saw someone message a couple others in there. Replaces any of those email service providers. Social media management, so Hootsuite, Sprout. Anyone who has ever managed more than one social media account, and have experience with that alone is such a huge cost savings. I know we were paying well over $100 a month just for Hootsuite for a handful of accounts to be able to properly manage all of those. And then two-way texting, we've used Simple Text in the past for group text messaging. There are plenty of platforms out there for that it replaces. And then you get into the stuff that we haven't even directly compared before, using a live chat, using a true CRM, hosting videos or other content, which obviously it's capable of doing. You're having the ability to have all this on your mobile device, so you can actually have conversations and keep track of everything from your phone. Surveys, forms, automations, which most people, even on like MailChimp, which does have some automations in it, is a whole other level plan you have to have just to even activate that feature to be able to do any kind of automations. Tracking, there's ads reporting, so I can actually have my Facebook ads report into the dashboard inside of MarketMySTR, so I can keep track without having to log into Facebook. Or for us, it's a nightmare because we have like 9,000 Facebook ad accounts I have to go through to keep track of everything. Reputation, so actually keeping track of your Google My Business and see.
You're talking about like reputation management, right?
Reputation management software. And so like the list, honestly, calendars for Calendly, if you want to go that far, even payment processing, if you did want to collect payments using Stripe, for example, for certain things, or you had an add-on or anything like that, instead of you having to send that through a different way, you could send it even as simple as a link to be able to have someone pay. The power is truly remarkable of what all is combined into one software. I think Scott put it very well that it's more than most people will fully take advantage of, and that's what I love about it, because it's at a price that for any one of those individual softwares, you would pay significantly more for one software compared to all of
Chris, what were we spending, do you remember, on just our email service provider? We were using ActiveCampaign, which is very similar to MailChimp. We were spending like $300 or $400 a month just for our emails. So that's one of the reasons, and big kudos. You guys should literally hit the like button for Scott, because this was his deal, and he was fortunate enough for me to partner with him and bring this in. He was already doing this for Grant Cardone. And if you know Grant Cardone, 10x. So for him to allow us to come in at this price point, so Chris and I could deliver this to you guys, because you can't afford $500, $600 a property. And most of these softwares do not allow multiple businesses, which each one of our property is a business. So when I talk about being able to put multiple businesses in this platform, it's multiple properties. You have unlimited landing pages. You can put unlimited social media accounts in here. You can do it all. So really, I want to go back and just focus on the core for a second, Sarah. Lead pages, gone at $54 a month. MailChimp, you're probably spending anywhere from $35 to $150 a month. If you're doing any type of texting, and you should be doing texting, Chris and I do use simple texting. I think that's $99 a month. So now we're probably with those. Active campaign, roughly 300. Lead pages for us is 54, so that's 354. Simple texting, 99. So keep track, Chris. What are we at? Like 454 a month. What else am I missing? The live chat is an example, right? Live chat, those run you $40 to $75 a month. So let's just leave it at 40. We're now roughly at $400 a month. So you can see how all the things add up. If you just focus on that core, forget about, Sprout, which I think starts at $195 a month to manage social media. And the thing that you have it, if you know me and how I manage, I made this abundantly clear. It all happens right here, right? I'm reluctant to get onto my desktop. If I have to get onto my desktop, who do you think's actually doing that work for me? Chris, right? So because I'm on the go, as Chris knows, I just don't stop. So that's the beauty of this. And coming from a HubSpot guy, as Chris knows, I bled orange for years. It's something that is really important from the price point and how robust this is for us to use. Chris and I are not even on the next level program. We're on the Superhost program. And I think that's been the biggest question, Scott. And I'm going to try to let you guys do the explaining, because I've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. What's the difference, Scott? If you'll just go through like what is included in the host and what's different, what's an add-on for the Superhost, what's the difference between those two plans? And then Chris, when he's done, will you explain to them how they would use Superhost differently, or the benefit than the host?
We'll go straight down on the website, and in the plans, we'll just go top to bottom. The first additional feature that you get is unlimited websites and hosting. Now, unlimited websites is what it is. I mean, when you host a website somewhere, you're going to pay a fee. If you just look at what Wix charges or what another competitor charges, I mean, depending on how many properties you have, how you structure your business. I know, Bill, sometimes you advocate that each business is its own LLC and its own. I mean, if you want to go that route and that's the route you've committed to, then a domain is something you're going to pay for in places, and that's included. Workflows and automation. It's very difficult to explain how profound and leverageable workflows is unless you've been a MarketMySTR customer for a couple of weeks or more, because you guys are seeing a consistent flow of information from us. You're seeing a consistent nurturing campaign. If you got in, Bill, I think we activated our 14-day nurturing program for the free trial less than 2 weeks ago. We've got 75 people already in that program, and we haven't touched them. And when they signed up, it automatically put them in that automation so that they get those every 3 days, and they get the emails from you saying, hey, here's another value you can get out of that. I haven't touched that. And that is going to hopefully continue to build credibility and build the relationship with our customers, because we can personalize the name. I sent an email out this morning to some of you who may have gotten it and took advantage of it. I said, hey, this is an opportunity to upgrade to the Superhost plan. I had your name in it and I had some text. And that was something that we did automatically so that we could save ourselves times and leverage our time.
And so we don't forget, right? I mean, I think that's one of the things. If you guys saw my Superhost Sunday 2 weeks ago about the guest transition and how we need to market, starting with the last two messages during a stay, and then really the first two messages post stay. But then there's this whole automation sequence after that, because you're never going to remember to send 10 guests once you get done with the summer over these next 10 weeks. And track every other week or every 3 weeks or every 5 weeks or every 8 weeks on a manual process to send them emails. And it's different when Scott stayed in April and I stayed in June and Chris stays in September. Now you've got them all in different sequences and different timing and different patterns. So that's the great thing about having automation. The thing that's even better about MarketMySTR is you can incorporate email and text messaging in your automation. And because it hosts videos, and if you like to do video like me as opposed to typing, you can just fire up a really quick video, drop it into the MarketMySTR, host it, grab a link, put it into a text or an email, and you're done. It's really that simple. Am I missing anything, Chris?
I think the hard part with trying to explain automations is that there's honestly goodness so many use cases for automations that until you're really in it and trying to think, man, I wish that this would automatically do that. I'm looking through right now because basically any automation is you have something that happens that triggers an action of some type. There's a trigger and then there's an action that happens because of the trigger. And I'm just looking through even the simplest of things, like a contact gets a tag added to them. So you upload a contact, it's for a Gulf Shores property. And then what I could do with that person, like I could send them an email, an SMS, I could have it call them, leave them a voicemail, message them on Facebook, Instagram DM them, Google My Business message them. I can add, remove tags, add notes on the inside for us in case you wanted to reference something. There's all the CRM stuff, and there's more CRM stuff than I can possibly imagine if you truly want to keep track of users the correct way and not just, oh, they stay with us at some point in time, right. Knowing information. I can add them to a Facebook custom audience right here inside of a workflow. I can remove them from a custom audience. And we haven't talked, because none of the other softwares are capable of doing anything like this, we never talked about truly how you can use lists to automate into Facebook custom audiences or back out of it for retargeting and ads of different types.
Okay, so I think you need to slow down, Killer, because here's the one thing I don't want to have happen for everybody here listening. I don't want you to be overwhelmed with all the stuff that this can do. This is why we focus, if you look on the website, the 4 core components, right? If you are super advanced, we will help guide you down that path. There's a reason that Scott has implemented daily 1-hour office hours live every single day, Monday through Friday. And that started today. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Today was the first one. So every Monday through Friday, there is live support. There is live chat available on the website as well. Next week, I think, starts the 9 to 5 monitoring of all the stuff that we're doing. Maybe it's the week after, Scott.
No, it's today. We've done that.
Today. Okay, so now. All of that. And you can't find support like that anywhere else. If you know how challenging it is to set up owner res, and you have to pay people charge between about $900 to $1,500 to get your owner res set up. Well, Scott's team will do it for you for $250 in the white glove service. You've already paid somebody a ridiculous amount of money to build you a direct booking website. For $175, Scott's team will import it for you up to 5 pages. That's insanely cheap. For Chris, you agree? I mean, for people that build websites, that is, see, I just drove Chris right off the screen to sneeze. So we've tried to make this extremely affordable. That's really it's going to replace all the other marketing stuff you have, right? But it's not going to replace Facebook. It's not going to replace Google. It's not going to replace your PMS. And I think it's really important. You don't have to have a booking widget to use our sales pages in direct landing pages. I spoke to Chris, not you, Chris, but another Chris while I was out on my walk and jog with Bria this afternoon. Who hit the reply button and wanted to have a quick chat. He's from California. And he's asking, look, I don't have a PMS right now, so I can't use the system, right? I said, no, that's not true. You can set up and you can take a quote. You can ask for, you can put a form, on your sales page. If you don't have someplace, a Logify or an owner res or whatever, you don't have to have the owner res or hospitable direct booking widget on your sales page. You could use one of our MarketMySTR forms and say, hey, interested in booking, get a customized quote. First name, last name, email address, phone number, select your property, drop down or one property. So what dates do you plan? How many guests are you going to have? It's that simple. Then you could literally just reply in an email and say, hey, that's going to be X amount. It's going to be $5,000 for July 1st through July 10th, for 9 nights, and start the process. And then you could take a payment via Venmo or PayPal, whatever you want to do. You don't have to have anything to get this started. You also don't have to have any number of properties. One property, You know, you think about if you start out at the host plan at $97 a month, what happens if you just got one additional booking every 3 months? Every 3 months. Would that generate $1,200 in revenue? It depends on the size of your property. So in most cases, this is going to pay for itself even if you have one property. If you learn how to do the marketing component and actually use the software, then you will. There's a reason that Chris and I, like the website that we built in an hour, that Chris did as the example for my Montana property, that's available in the Superhost plan. We're creating content for you guys, and we're going to be doing some training in the Superhost and the next level plans for you. Not only just about the platform, that's happening, and Scott's done a tremendous job in the knowledge base in the library, but we're going to continue to do some webinars, and Chris has a new educational series that's going to be launching for our Build Short-Term Rental Wealth members as well. So I want to jump over to the next question. This is something that's, you know, kind of interesting. It's from Vicky. Can you please clarify with the phone, text, and email credits with the host account? The disclaimer states $5 worth per month. What does that boil down to for texting and email?
So with text, we partner with Twilio, which is a very well-known.
It's the best.
Yeah, they're the best. So we purchased blocks of text from them, and texting is a paid service. It always has been, always will be somewhere. And so what we do is our credits are designed to pay for the monthly reservation for the phone number that you get. So that's like $1.74 a month. And then the rest of the credit is for texts that you send. The reason why we like and prefer it, and we've used this with hundreds of clients in the past, is because we believe that giving credits allows you to manage how many texts you want. If you don't want to use the text, then we're not paying you, we're not charging you for something you don't use. Bill, you mentioned a plan that you passed, and it was $99 to have the right to use the software. And if you didn't use it, you paid $99. You don't pay it unless you use it here, and that's the way we do it. So if you exhaust your $5 a month, then there is a automatic charge of $10 to give you a balance, so that you have a balance of $10 in your account so that you can send the text you want to send. So that's how texting works. Hopefully that explains that. And then emails, there is a free email component that we wrestled with Bill on this, and we won temporarily, at least on your behalf, everybody who's watching this, which is there's a free email plan that you automatically get. If we connect you directly with a Gmail account, which is what we're doing with every client, and that's what our free onboarding course teaches, then email is free. It does not apply. What you read on that disclaimer does not apply. If you choose, and this is for Superhost users, that you want to take the next level in the email evolution of this platform, then you can we work with Mailgun, and you will have your own email subdomain, which will allow you to send unlimited emails through the platform, but that carries a cost of 0.001 per email. And then you can get trigger links. You can know when people open their emails, and there's a much greater depth of statistics and visibility you get inside of the email that you send out to a prospect or a client than you would if you use the free version. So that's the explanation to that. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome. I think that's great. Chris, let's take a couple of questions. I know you got some starred over here in the chat.
Let's go back to the top. Question, what if you have multiple properties in the same area? Should you do a sales page for each specific property? Would you want a navigation menu so the client can pick a property?
So same area is a pretty big thing. I believe that you should have a sales page for every property individually. If you are talking like townhome, or single family home, all within a close enough parameter to where you can actually group those together, to where you take the 3-4 bedroom, 3 baths as individual properties, and then you have a 12-9 to where you can group together, or make them as, 4 or 8 fours or whatever they are, and break them up. Then I would definitely have each one of those. So I would have each property, one sales page. I would put whatever combinations you're doing as their own individual sales pages as well. It's really simple. So I kind of use the analogy, same thing, one property, one LLC, one bank account, one credit card, one website, really one sales page. The only time that I typically will use a website and show my entire portfolio is when I'm introducing, and this goes back to that whole guest, kind of continuation that we talked about, is when I'm introducing my entire portfolio to give them the opportunity. And there's some ways, I mentioned this when I did a live broadcast yesterday from, I went on a college tour with my daughter. I really didn't do this publicly. It was in the MySTR Facebook group about trigger links. And trigger links are really important for me because instead of just sending everything in one email, I can ask my guests and using text. I don't even have to force them to fill out a form or anything. And I can say, hey, thanks for staying at my beach house. If you're interested in, going to the mountains or skiing, click here. If you're interested in going fly fishing or skiing in Montana, click here. If you want to check out the second cleanest lake in the South, click here. And then what happens is when they click on one of those, that triggered link triggers another action from MarketMySTR, and that can be an email funnel of 3 or 4 emails to go out about that individual property. It could be, a text message to go out with a video that I've made at that property. It's just kind of unlimited what happens. Nobody has this stuff. So when people are talking about the direct booking movement, it's not about a website. It's about everything else that drives traffic and sells to that website. And that's what's missing in our industry right now. And that's what used to be so optional during COVID, but it's what guys like me had to do before COVID to be able to exceed the 90th percentile of AirDNA. There's a reason that I live in that the 155th percentile of AirDNA, and it's because of the off-platform marketing. And that's why I'm sharing this stuff with you. And this is a perfect one of one sales page, one group sales page if you have any type of grouping of properties, and then have a portfolio page. So the program allows you to do unlimited subdomains. So like we use stay.kivavacationrentals.com, and then that can be .com/property1. Then the next subdomain is stay@kivavacationrentals.com/property2/property3/property24. Right? So if you have 5 properties and they're all duplexes and triplexes and you have 15 combinations, you can have 15 customized sales pages. And just what I want you to understand is the wrong way to do organic social media marketing, to do paid social media marketing, or to do organic email marketing is to send people to a website because it has too many options. It confuses them. The right way to do it is to narrow down your target, narrow down the value proposition of each individual property, accentuate that, and showcase the shit out of it on your sales page when you get there.
I think that people underestimate how easy it is because once you build the first one, especially if you have multiple properties in the same area, 95% of that content on that page is going to be the exact same because your page isn't about your property. It's about what you can do at your property. And because of that, all you got to do is once you build the first one, you just duplicate it, and then you change out the things that are unique for the next property and just keep going through it like that. It takes, honestly, just once you build the first one, no time to duplicate and just change the things for each individual one, even ones that are very similar in the same area.
And to drive that point home in terms of content appropriate for people, I like to use an analogy that's really, really broad because, or really distinct, because then it helps you understand it. If you have some people, and let's say you have a group of women in their first trimester pregnant, and you have 50-year-old men who like NASCAR, and you send the 50-year-old men who like NASCAR something that they can do pregnant in their first trimester, you are not going to get anybody. In fact, you're going to get anger. And it's the same thing when you think about how you talk to people in every situation. Think about it. If someone really cares about beach vacations and you send them a snow vacation email, you are not going to be well received. But if you used our platform to its maximum, you may have tags where these people prefer beach. You're going to send them beach information. And if you think about it in that way, and you gather your prospects in groups and use smart lists and you put them in front of appropriate content, you're going to have a great conversion.
From Mandy, Scott, this is for you. Is the white glove onboarding still available at $250? We signed up Wednesday, so I'm assuming she probably didn't sign up with the white glove, can they go back after they've signed up and get the white glove? And if so, how do they do that?
Absolutely.
How do they do that?
I'll send them a link.
Okay. What about in general? Like if I've already signed up, do I just go to live chat and on the website and say I want to get it? What do I do?
Contact us in one of our support channels and say I want white glove onboarding. We'll take care of you.
Okay, cool. And that's all in the Facebook group too for everybody. Just FYI, there's like 4 or 5 ways to be able to.
I'm going to try to multitask. So while you guys are talking, I'm going to send Mandy the link.
Okay, awesome. Can you tell me how your email platform compares to MailChimp and ConvertKit? Do you integrate with StayFi? I'll take this the StayFi part real quick. MarketMySTR, like many software platforms, can literally connect to thousands of different software platforms that are out there using Zapier. If you're familiar with Zapier, you kind of know how it works. It's the plumbing under the sink that we don't see that can connect, multiple faucets and move water behind the scenes. So yes, it integrates with StayFi just like the other platforms do. It integrates with OwnerRez, QuickBooks, anything that would connect with Zapier. You can go to Zapier.com, Zapier, and then you can create a multitude of recipes, which is pretty incredible. I know, Chris, we use this extensively. So yes, then, the email, Mailgun, MailChimp, ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, they're almost all the same. The thing that's really beautiful about MarketMySTR is that the CRM is way more powerful than like what Chris and I were using in ActiveCampaign. Way more powerful than the tagging system and what they have in MailChimp. And probably 2 steps, maybe 3 steps above ConvertKit. So when you take the power of the tagging system, you take the power of the automation, of the triggers, of the CRM, and roll that into email, probably the only thing, at least that I'm aware of, that would even come close or be comparable is HubSpot. What do you say to that, Scott?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a light version. Mailgun is, again, $1 billion, or MailChimp is $1 billion company. They have tools we don't have, but 99% of American business owners, including 99% of the people in this group, are people that this is enough. This is more than enough functionality for them to do the things they want to do with their community.
I think in the end, all email service providers you have lists, you have contacts, and you have tags. And each one kind of handles how it does lists differently, how it does tags differently, and kind of how you can use that information. But I think you'll be surprised the power that is in the tagging features, especially when it comes to even things like automation, but also even the email builder. I think one of our early videos, we kind of showed off a little bit of the email builder and how you can, for those that aren't sending just text emails and want to have a more designed email, I mean, it's comparable to anything you'll find in MailChimp or most of the other email service providers out there as far as ease of use and kind of, drag and drop and move stuff around. It works the exact same way. So it's super easy to use if you haven't had a chance to get in there. I do recommend, I mean, we haven't even talked about this, but you have a 14-day free trial. So if you want to get in and play around and build some landing pages and see it for yourself, I think that's some of the hardest part is like, it's one thing for us to talk about. You're like, oh yeah, you can do this, you can do that. But in the end, just hit the trial. You have 14 days to get in there and play with it. And I think you're going to find once you get in there that it's going to blow away your expectations of what.
That's my ultimate recommendation. I see these notifications coming in. You're probably getting them too, Chris, I'm sure Scott's getting blown up, but people that are upgrading to Superhost right now as we're on this that signed up for Host. Here's my recommendation to what Chris said. If you're going to sign up tonight, sign up for Superhost. Look under the hood for 14 days. Get the white glove onboarding so you can get up and running quickly. And then if you're not going to use the automations, if you're not going to do that stuff, then, downgrade to, the $97 host plan. So that way you're locked in with the pricing, right? And there's no risk to get in for 14 days. That's what I would recommend for people to do. That way you get to see the true platform, and everything that is going to work.
We have hundreds and hundreds of clients, and I will tell you the strategy we always recommend is the same. When you get in, you will find that the strategy is going to be, how do I leverage myself? How do I save myself time? What are all the ways I can save time? And then consider the more properties you get under management and the more you think you may need help, lean on and leverage our software tools first, and then bring in a VA part-time or bring some support in part-time. But don't do the reverse. Don't bring on the assistant first. then get the account and then say, my gosh, oh, I didn't know it could do this. I didn't know it could do this. This saves me a lot of time. I don't need someone for this. Do it that way. And you'll be, and that's the way to lead, is to get technology first and then help second.
Agreed. Welcome, Christine, Almas, Sean, Frank, Brandon, Carrie, Kim, Joseph. We're excited to have you guys on the platform. What's the next question you have, Chris?
I think this one's, there's a couple really quick ones I would love to hammer out, like this one. Is there a length of contract for host for Superhost?
Absolutely not. The platform and Scott and Chris and Bill and our team have to earn the right for you to stick with us the next month. And then we have to earn the right for you to stick with us for the second month and the third month. It's what Chris and I do with every single thing that we do. There's no snake oil here. There's no bullshit. It's literally, if we don't deliver for you, then take your ball and go to a different sandbox. It's really easy. There's no commitment, no lengthy contracts, no BS of having to sign a 12-month contract like with other platforms. We will deliver for you every single month, or you cancel. It's that simple. There are no money-back guarantees. That's why you get the 14-day free trial to test it for free, 100%. Chris, Mary, just wanted to ask, aside from the monthly fee, are there reoccurring charges I need to pay, like a per email or per text charge? I guess that was not Chris. That's really Scott. You already kind of addressed that in giving out the credit to start with. And if you're going to have to send a lot of text, most likely, or use a ton of emojis or images or something to go over even that $5 credit. So I don't see you guys sending out enough text messages, to even blow through that $5 credit.
Yeah, no, you will be pleased that you can run your business without worrying about extra charges.
LaPearl asked, go ahead.
I will tell you this. What you do need to remember is that if you do texting right, the statistics say there's a 44x ROI on text. So if you send 100 texts, here are the statistics about texting, and this is why people go overboard, and this is why now everybody's clamping down on it, because it is so powerful. 98% of texts are open. You'll get a 39% response rate on text if you do a cool offer that it resonates with people that are women in their first trimester, not 50-year-old NASCAR people. But if you do something appropriate, you will get a 39%. You will get a 39% response rate. You'll get a 14% execution rate. Think about the ROI. If you send 100 texts to former guests, if you have a special on a weekend and it was $1,500 for your property, and you send 100 texts out, which would cost you $1, and you got one person that took you up on that. That's $1 for $1,500. That's not 44x. That is what?
1,500x.
Text messaging is incredible. So don't worry about the cost. The ROI will make you say, all right, I'll go ahead and spend $10 a month, because it's incredible.
Right. Agree with that. LaPearl asks, can we upgrade in the future and still get founders pricing? No. Really simple. Everybody's had 30 days to do this 14-day free trials to figure it out. We're doing this. You can downgrade and keep your founders pricing. Like if you go to Superhost and you want to go back down, Scott and I agreed on this a couple of days ago, and you want to go back down to host, we're going to grandfather you in at the $97, but not going back up.
I will say this too, Bill. You and I are going to defend this starting tomorrow. The new prices will be unbeatable. Like once founder prices are over, the Superhost plan at $297 and the host plan at $197 is insane value.
Right.
Starting tomorrow at 12:01 a.m.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
3 hours and 20 minutes. And here's what I'll tell you: the price, that's not going to be that pricing, forever. That'll probably be a few months, and then we'll get into our real pricing, which most likely is going to be like $297 and $697. It's way underpriced to give everybody the early adopters, because I'm an early adopter, the ability to get in and lock in your pricing forever. So let's see, what else do we got, Chris?
Let's have this one. I think this is John Hodge. You need to click the button, John, so I actually see your face as the user, not just Facebook user. Looking to level up my listings this year, MarketMySTR. I finally took the plunge on dynamic pricing. I know that this will take me to another level. Will I be able to book and process reservations without having another CRM, or do I have to have another platform just to process the booking? So I want to kind of hit, because Bill, you already hit this home, but technically, no, you don't have to have a booking platform behind it. You just have to know that you would have to manually block off your calendar if you had a booking come in. You can process a payment through Stripe. You can have the form to submit the questions. You can message back and forth through the chat. You can do all the other parts to it. It's just in the end of the day, you'll have to still block off your calendar so that if you have like Airbnb or Vrbo.
This is something, Johnny boy, that you can do. Don't recommend it.
Yeah.
Because mistakes will happen. That's the great part about the automation. Use Hospitable, use OwnerRez, and then sync the information via Zapier into the MarketMySTR CRM, and then I'll go, that's your email context, your tags, it's everything ready to go. That's the beauty of the automation side and using Zapier. So this 100%, this is doable, but I would not go down that path because of the manual process to manage calendars and payments and stuff like that.
Agreed.
What do we got next, Christopher?
This one's really easy. What time each day is your 1 hour training for the weekday trainings?
12 to 1 Central.
1 Central. Super simple. And for anyone who's late, this is a funny question. What is the platform? I don't really get how this works.
Elsie, you just go to marketmystr.com. Chris will pop up that link here in a banner in just a second. The 10 seconds, it's an all-in-one marketing platform. It does your email marketing.
Specifically designed for short-term rental hosts.
100%. It does your email you do your email marketing, your social media marketing, your text marketing. It hosts your direct booking websites, your sales pages. It has live chat, client relationship management, CRM, all of that stuff. So it's really everything you're going to do in marketing under one umbrella. As Chris said earlier, there's an app. You can do everything right from your phone. It makes it simple, makes it easy. It's extremely affordable, and it's something that's mandatory today. Not that you have to buy MarketMySTR. You can go get MailChimp lead pages, simple texting, Pipedrive is a cheap, CRM, and spend 4 times what you're going to spend for this, and then have everything disjointed and have to connect everything on the back end, and work probably 5 to 6 times harder, like what Chris and I have been doing prior to MarketMySTR. Or you can jump in and have everything under one roof. That's really what it is. It's the all-in-one marketing platform. Let's see. Send me Lazy Bear. It's right here. MarketMySTR.com. Chris will post it in the comments as well, but you can see it right here. MarketMySTR.com. If you guys have any other questions, please post your questions in the comments down below. Chris just posted a link. We've got let's see, Amber C. During Host Academy calls, it seems you recommend that most of us in the group would just need the $97 a month MarketMySTR package, which I signed up for. But it seems that now you're emphasizing the superhost pricing and videos, etc. Is there something I'm missing? Amber, it's one of the reasons yesterday that I did a live broadcast from Georgia about the trigger links, right? So like trigger links are not included in the host plan. The automation is not included in the host plan. The decision has to be made on your own. Are you going to use these additional features? That's why I believe you should do it during the 14-day free trial and test them out. The automation is what's going to save us a shitload of time. Leveraging those trigger links to take the guest or the potential guest down the path that they choose automatically is critical. Right? So like asking them, why did you book our property? Oh, we booked your property because of XYZ. Oh, well, they click here. Then you can show them more XYZ, right? Whatever that is. So those are 2 of the biggest things for me outside of unlimited websites, and you get access to mine and Chris's templates and trainings and that type of stuff. Those are the difference. If you're in the Host Academy, you don't need, some of that stuff. But at the end of the day, the automation and the trigger links are the 2 biggest things for me. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't really know what the trigger links did until about a week and a half ago. Just the trigger links alone are enough for me, right? Because I know that I'm going to use them. The biggest difference that you guys need to contemplate, in my opinion, is are you going to sit down and like Scott, when we did the 14-day free trial, I had to write, I think it's 8 emails 7 or 8 emails. It's going out in 15 days in the 14-day free trial. And they don't just create themselves. I can't do that in ChatGPT. That ChatGPT doesn't know how to write stuff and give you guys my expertise and what to do in what order and how to use the system. So it's educational, it's training, and it's introducing you to the system as well, right? So I had to sit down and do that. And that took me a good 2 or 3 hours. And it just, if you're going to put in that time and write your email copy so you can build a funnel, if you're going to create some texting to be able to send out, then 100% you need to be in the Superhost. But you need to be honest with yourself. If you're not going to do that and you just want to use the basic and that's for you, that's cool too. But it has nothing to do with, the size of your portfolio or how many properties you have or anything like that. It's how you're going to commit to using the system. I would say that you need probably 2x, maybe 3x the amount of time in the first 90 days to get the funnels built and that type of stuff, because it's going to be creating that content. Once that's done, you're going to save 90% over having the host plan and be 10 times more effective. What else we got, Christopher?
I can't see the full question, so I'm going to pop it up just hopefully I can read the bottom part. It's the actual questions at the very, very bottom. So no, it gets cut off. If whoever wrote this, if you want to shorten it so I can actually read the rest of what you asked, that would be awesome. I think your question is after your kind of setup. This might be the same one. We have 3 properties today in sync calendars. We do not have a separate PMS for this work. Or do you think we need to do that to get full value?
We have 3 properties today in sync calendars. We do not have a separate PMS. With the 100%, because you're going to market each property individually, and then if you have 3 properties side by side, like Chris and Scott and I are sitting here, then, I would do at least 4 combinations, and each one of those combinations, like I said earlier, I'd have an individual sales page, and then I would have one portfolio page, to use when you're introducing the people to the additional properties.
And if you are considering a PMS, this would be a good time to, even if it's something simple like hospitable, I think you would see a huge value in having a PMS, one, to help you keep everything truly synced, because I don't know about you, but calendars have become unsynced all the dang time. Having that other layer in there, but also helping you be able to do way more with your properties and just the calendar sync with it.
Yeah, you don't have to have a PMS, and what you're asking would not be affected by a PMS. But I do believe when you get your second property and definitely your third, not going to say you need owner res or guesty at that point, but that's when I would definitely be looking at something a little bit lighter and easier, like a hospitable, and it's very low cost.
We do have deep integrations with Google and various services that they provide, including their calendars. We sync with Google Calendar. If they are syncing with calendars, they could at least show their synced calendar and availability on our platform. But then I would do what you recommend. We could attach a custom form in the calendar and say, what dates do you want to book for that you see that are available? And then you can literally add invoicing, or you could add text to pay to the end of that funnel once they submitted that form and that calendar, and then you could send them an invoice for those dates. You could make it work on our system. It's not as effective as you guys teach, which is the owner res or what have you. But
right,
if they want to make it work, they can in our system like that. It's just more work.
I want to drive home a little bit of what Scott mentioned earlier, and that's the hardest part when growing isn't the putting the people or adding people in. It's the building the systems to effectively use people in the process. So a lot of people, as they're expanding their properties, when they go from 1 to 2, they treat it like it's still one property. When they go from 2 to 3, they treat it like it's still one property. The problem is 3 properties are different than 1 property. 5 properties are way different than 3 properties. The more you build systems that aren't designed for 5 properties, but designed for 500 properties, that's when you really get to a point where you can scale. Because when you go from 5 to 10, it's no different, because you already have your systems in place that work for way more than what you currently have. And that's the hardest part for any business in growing. It's the understanding that you're not building for where you are now, you're building for where you want to go. And it's difficult. It's difficult for us. Like Bill and I right here. Like right now, we're not able to work on anything else we're doing because we're both on screen, on camera, and this is us. We're the ones doing it. It's part of us trying to build out our systems too, to be able to continue to grow what we do. But the best way to grow anything is to have systems in place that aren't designed for where you are now, but where you want to be, so that as you continue to grow, it's just plug and play and continue to make things better and better as you go. Yeah,
the value of my life appreciates or improves by technology, not by how many people I employ.
Agreed. Nanan Shah, does the host plan provide any stats data on the free email marketing? No, because that's set up through Gmail. So there's no like open rates or click-through rates or any of that type of stuff. You can still get the non-Gmail. You can do our email marketing integrated with Mailgun on the host plan. You do not have to move up to the super host plan to do that. And then you'll get some data from Mailgun, correct, Scott?
Yeah, that's correct. Yep. That is something that we're going to be formalizing. This is one of those eat the elephant one bite at a time thing. We're going to be formalizing a lesson on how to transition from free Gmail to paid Mailgun 0.0001 per email. It's not a lot, but what happens when you do it, what you need to do, there's a series of techie things you need to do. You need to do 2 text records, 2 MX records. That's why we're not doing it now. But when we do get to it and you do upgrade, then you can start seeing the open rates and everything else in the email statistics.
Cool. Facebook user. I hate this, Chris. I wish it would just
sure.
Whatever. Anyways, whoever this is, I absolutely realize that all my eggs are in one basket with Airbnb. Definitely, and need to move towards your system. My problem is if I sign up tonight, I know for sure I will not be able to start working in it for at least 4 to 6 weeks. Any advice? Yeah, sign up, take advantage of the free trial, which will save you at least half of a month, 2 weeks. So that way you have your pricing locked in, because if you wait 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to spend more money within the first 3 months. So I would definitely take advantage now of the pricing. That's why we're doing all this stuff, to remind everybody and explain the differences in the programs and everything, so everybody can make an informed decision. But most people are going to be on this long term, take advantage of the lower pricing. It's like trying to take advantage of a lower interest rate. You know, if it's 4% today and you come back 6 weeks from now and it's 7%, you're not going to be able to get the 4% from the bank. Hi, gentlemen. When scheduling your social media posts, do you need to adjust sizes for each platform, or will it automatically adjust to the individual social media platform required sizes? I assume he's referring to photos.
I would make them square. Square works everywhere. That's kind of the little trick. I think people get kind of stuck in, well, one, Instagram's all weird with like when you do different sizes anyways and multiple posts, it cuts stuff off and leaves stuff out. Square is usually the safe place, because pretty much everywhere you go or any social platform you post on, it will handle Square properly and it will display it properly. But if you start doing mixed sizes, things act weird in different places.
That's a good pro tip.
But the scheduling is incredible for anyone who's used any. Whoops, let me flip you. Can I move you and I? There we go. For anyone who's used a scheduling platform, it's the social media scheduler's incredible to be able to schedule, and actually we even talked about some of the advanced features of it, like being able to create drafts and levels of approval if you did have someone else in there to do some of the social stuff, for you to be able to say, yes, I want to approve this one, no, that one needs more work, that one's not good enough to go. And if you aren't the one actually putting in the work, like Scott mentioned, if you had virtual assistants in there and if you scale to that level.
That brings up a good point. We've had several people on their white glove onboarding say they're looking to hire a virtual assistant. We are actually going to be implementing, probably not this quarter, but next quarter, we're going to be training additional people on our team so you can hire them out to do certain things inside of our platform, because they know our platform, they know MarketMySTR, and you can plug in and hire them for 10 hours or so, or 15 hours, or consistently hire them a couple hours a week.
Right.
That's a service down the road that we are going to be.
What percentage of people have been asking for that, would you say, Scott?
5%.
What's that?
5%.
5%. You know, I get a lot of questions about that. I'm sure you do too, right, Chris? All right. So Chris, remind me tomorrow. I'm going to get with Kenny. So most of you have not been through the Super Team Accelerator program. Inside of that, we have an incredible module that Kenny Bedwell from STR Insights, and I participated a little bit in it, have put in on how to source, hire, train, and manage virtual assistants. I'm going to get with Chris, remind me, I'm going to get with Kenny tomorrow and see if we can maybe pull that out, or if him and I will do a training on how to do that, how to identify what platforms to use, where to find them, how to train them, your SOPs, how to pay them, compensate, communicate with them, manage them, all that type of stuff with virtual assistants until, you know, we can get ours done on this platform and potentially have a service for you, you know, to have those, you know, manage all your marketing and that type of stuff. Cool. This is more of a support question. Scott, can you answer that?
Who is it, first of all, because Facebook users tell me who it is. Scott, I'm trying to reset my password so I can upgrade to Superhost, but after I hit the reset button, this is the one cruel joke of MarketMySTR, and this person who's going to be like, that's not funny, but this is the one cruel joke. When you are in your user profile and you hit edit, you're in the My Staff section and you edit your profile and you get to the point where you can change your password, and right next to it is reset password. If you put what you want as a password there and hit reset password, it will send you in this endless ridiculous loop, which will then turn your computer into something that flies. It's that bad. So
that's awesome.
When you do set that password, do not click reset password. Just go all the way to the bottom of the pop-up and hit save, and it'll save the password that you decide to use. That is a pro tip, and something, it's a sanity tip probably more than a pro tip.
That's pretty funny. Candace, I see you. Welcome, Candace. Excited to have you. Candace, Kayla, Tim, Michelle, Neil, Sharon. Welcome all of you guys that have joined here in the last 15 minutes while we've been on the broadcast. Excited to have you. Don't forget that every day, Monday through Friday, at 1 p.m. Eastern, you will have live support. Hey, Marianne, welcome. There's another one. Live support. And also when you get that very first email from Scott, I think it might be the second email, actually, you get a couple, and right when you sign up, make sure you jump into our MarketMySTR Facebook group as well.
Let's do one of those things, Bill, where we'll stay till midnight and like we won't leave until we get like a certain number. No.
I got to go to bed, man. I got a lot.
That's some full Grant Cardone right there.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want to do that by any means. I think we're out of questions. I think that was or wait, hang on. There's Flower.
I know. I saw the time. That's why I started joking.
I have one property and only one Airbnb in Verbo. Hospitable and OwnerRez are both $40. What would you recommend? Also, MySTR will set up OwnerRez. Did I understand that correctly? So Flower things. I would go with Hospitable over OwnerRez. If I didn't need some specific features like on the property management side for my co-hosting and stuff like that, I would probably be using Hospitable as a standalone. If I used Hospitable as a standalone, Chris would probably be a lot happier just because of all the complexities in OwnerRez. Look, and I'm a big OwnerRez fan. I love it. I'll probably never switch to Hostfully or Guesty or Logify or anything else. But I think if I was starting over again today, I would start with Hospitable. And what happens is I think we customize the way we work to what platforms require, right? And so I'm also a big believer that you should manage your first property for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, just syncing calendars without a PMS to figure out your own management style. Is it more desktop driven? Is it more, iPhone driven? Are you more into the personal one-on-one communication or automation? Figure out just how you're going to do it. But if you're ready now, I would go with Hospitable over OwnerRez with one property. And a lot of that is I talk about building out your future, architecting your outcome. You really need to understand how far are you going to go into this business. If you're going to go 1 or 2 or 3 properties, Hospitable all the way. If you're going to grow and then integrate and get to 10 properties or 20 and it's part of your documented plan, maybe you might decide to add on a co-hosting part of the business and need billing and tracking and reporting, then it's probably OwnerRez. So just kind of make those decisions up front. MarketMySTR will connect with OwnerRez via Zapier, as we talked about earlier, to send that information flow back and forth.
And
but they're
just
really
so that's a pro tip too. I'm sorry to interrupt, Bill, but Lead Connector is the Zapier connection. It's called Lead Connector. That's also the mobile app we use. So don't get confused and go in looking for MarketMySTR and not find it. You're looking for Lead Connector in Zapier.
Gotcha. If I use my own domain name to set up the new web pages and other info within your system, what do I keep and lose if for some reason I cancel my subscription? You keep your domain names. You own those. They're in your GoDaddy or Google account or whatever it is.
You keep your contacts. You can download a CSV file quickly. You really keep all that stuff.
The only thing that you really would lose would be the hosted web pages and websites. And if you're smart about it and you decide to leave, then you would get a developer to, download all the information and then redeploy them outside of the system. So you really don't lose anything if you approach it correctly. But with any SaaS system, software as a service, you're going to lose the stuff that you leave in it. So you need to It's one of the reasons I asked Chris to download, our email lists and stuff, out of ActiveCampaign before we switched over to MarketMySTR, to where we always have, a type of a hard copy. Ben and Danielle, will this work for boutique motel? 1,000%. This works for anything. It works for plumbers, HVAC companies, marketing companies, short-term rental hosts, boutique hotels, people that are, multifamily, that have, apartment complexes. It works for everything. So there's really no limitations. What do I need to have ready for white glove people? I'm meeting with someone tomorrow. So what do they need to prepare? I know you can't go into very, very specifics, but just in general.
So it would be great. So what we do, this is sort of a I don't know what I'm trying to say here, other than to say we are going to bend over backwards to make sure you're up and running. If that means white glove onboarding is 1 hour and we can get it done in 1 hour, we'll do it. If it means it takes 2 hours, but I'm going to share a secret with you. We are willing to spend up to 3 hours. So you would schedule and do your first onboarding, and if it doesn't get done, we will do a second and a third until we feel like we have checked off the 26 boxes on our checklist to get you onboarded. And that's what we do every time. So what usually happens, I'll just kind of give you a lay of the land, is we get through most of those check boxes, but then we say, we are willing to help you get your landing page moving along. And the reason why we say moving along and not live is because we need you to do the copy. We need you to write about your property. We can't do the copy for you. But if you show up tomorrow with a folder of all of your images for your property, we can get that landing page so close to ready within an hour or two. So show up. You should have gotten an email that says what you need to be prepared for onboarding. So it's going to be like, you need to be logged into your Google account. You need to be logged into your GoDaddy account. If those are the things we're going to connect, then
when you say GoDaddy, that could be wherever your domains are hosted.
Yeah, it could be. Yep. So wherever your domain is hosted, we need to connect so we can connect the subdomain. That's what you need to come ready with for white glove onboarding. But it's like it says, you need to show up ready for us to sit in the co-pilot seat and then have you share your screen so we can walk you through and you can start using the platform, and we'll just tell you where to go every time, and we'll connect things because we know how to connect them.
Yeah, and I think just to be crystal clear on that, the way that Scott's talking about it is they're going to guide you through the white glove to get done super quick. You're not just giving them and then coming back an hour later and they've built everything for you, because that doesn't do you any good. That's why I don't like when people outsource, like setting up owner res or guesty, because when you're not involved in the process, sure, it's live, it's up, it's the way that you want it, but now you don't know how to do shit, inside of it. So I love the way that Scott actually approaches and
I will tell you, we do get a little bit of leverage for you. So when I talk about how we go through onboarding, at the end, if you have your folder of images for your first landing page, we'll do that offline. You don't have to stay with us and watch us do those. We'll get those prepared, and then we'll just send you an email. Hey, we've got this ready for you. Go in and finish. We'll hand you the baton 3/4 of the way through the race, and you just have to finish it, and you have to cross the finish line.
Can you answer this, and then we'll take like 2 or 3 more, and then we'll wrap up and get out of here?
Sure. Once logged in, how do I upgrade your account to Superhost? Obviously, new to the platform. So if you log into your account and you go to the lower left-hand corner where it says Settings, you're going to be able to go to the business. Let me just log into a different account. I'm in my master account. You're going to be able to go into the company billing page. So it's settings on the left nav, lower left, company billing. And then if you scroll down actually at the top, it'll say subscription plan. It'll say more than likely host because you're trying to upgrade. And right below it, it's going to say modify subscription. And it's just simply a button that you can click upgrade to. It'll give you the option to upgrade to Superhost, and you click the green button and you're done.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mandy, thanks guys. You rock. Already very impressed and eager to grow in your biz in the direction we should per the endless hours we are listening to have faith on pods, etc. Thank you, Mandy. Support has been A+2. Awesome. Mandy, thank you for the kind words. Really appreciate it. I'm sure that makes Scott feel good. You know, and we're not going to be perfect every time, folks. So, you know, I think we are, I think we've had, what'd you say, 3 issues with like hundreds of white gloves and onboardings so far, and that's to be expected. Scott is here to give you guys the absolute best customer support. It will be unparalleled, but we'll have a hiccup once in a while.
Oh, we're not perfect. We live in a glass house, and we know we really believe everybody does. So if we can all just understand that we all do, and we'll make it right. There is no question we will make it right. So we will make mistakes, I promise you, but we'll make it right.
Folks, Scott, Chris, thank you guys for joining tonight. Really appreciate all the insight you guys have provided. If you guys are still watching, if you have any questions, I'll probably be up for the next 2 hours. Just DM me, you know, at Bill Faith, right there, FAETH, Bill Faith 73. Happy to answer any questions. That's on Instagram, because I'm sure Scott and Chris are going to go to bed now. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Chris. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you inside the MarketMySTR Facebook group, and happy hosting.
Thanks, guys.